up for questions. But last night, I was looking around to prepare my remarks. And one of the things I came across was, of all things, a Nike ad that was aired during the Super Bowl. And it was with our beloved LeBron James was featured in it, which is always exciting. But the ad said, equality should have no boundaries. Opportunity should not discriminate. If we can be equals here, that being on the courts, playing sports, we can be equals everywhere. What the Fairness Act is saying, what we're all saying here this morning, is that everyone should have the right to be equal in their jobs. And therefore then, we can be equal everywhere. And that's really what everyone wants. To be able to take care of their family, to provide for them, and to be equal everywhere. The Fairness Act will move Ohio forward in this way. So with that, we are happy to answer any questions that you have.
Representative, can you talk a little bit more about how your bill addresses the religious liberty or freedom concerns that your colleagues on the other side of the aisle might have?
Sure. As I mentioned right up front, and in the language of the bill, it reinforces the fact that all of the religious exemptions that exist right now in Ohio law are reaffirmed and continue. That means that people with religious faith, who are pastors, ministers, clergy, have the right to function within their theology right now, and with those constraints. What that means at the bottom line, I think what a lot of people want to know is they have the right today to make the decision on who they will perform a ceremony of marriage for. And this bill upholds their right to continue. It also upholds their First Amendment rights as well.
So is that, just to use an example, like a Catholic school employee, would the school still be able to fire an employee if they really want to let that person stay?
Unfortunately, because they are covered by the law yet today, that would still continue to be possible, sadly so.
Under your bill, they would be?
We uphold the language that's in the code right now, and that code would protect that situation, the officials in that situation to continue to do that. Now, having said that, we all know that anyone can bring a suit at any time about any situation to say that they're being unfairly treated. And we've seen that happen.
Is this identical to last year's, or has there been any tweaks?
Yes.
Okay.
The language is identical.
You know, in terms of your Republican colleagues, has there been any movement, or in your conversations with them, are they moving like that?
You know, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're in the 132nd General Assembly. In the 131st General Assembly, there were absolutely no anti-LGBT bills that came out of this General Assembly, and that's because we were talking to each other and across the aisle. So members who are my colleagues and I continue to have conversations, and some other members of my caucus are talking to the members of the majority caucus. We continue to have conversations trying to figure out if there's any way forward for some sort of a middle path. I think that we should all look to the fact that there has not been a bill that would either by title or intention be considered an anti-LGBT bill come out of this General Assembly at this juncture. There has not been anything that's come forward. I'm hoping that will continue. And with this bill, we hope that we can continue to have a conversation in a proactive, positive way.
So you said this has been introduced every legislative session since 2009?
I know she's going to try to fact check me on
So
this.
it's like 8, 9 years?
So in 2009, the bill was actually introduced, and if you remember, when the Democrats had the majority, it was actually passed out of the House And so it made it out of the House, and then it languished in the Senate. And consistently since that time, the bill has been, when I came in 2011, we have introduced every General Assembly, not every year, every General Assembly, we have continued to introduce the bill. Before that, it had been introduced a couple of times in history before it had passed. So there's a long
State
standing,
House how since then?
at least more than 10 years. It's a good way to put it.
Have you heard from any businesses that have not come into Ohio because we don't have such a law in place?
Not specifically any instances, but we are not attracting a talent because businesses don't feel that the policies in the state match their very own non-discrimination policies. I know that there are employees who are not coming to our state. We have job offers in Ohio, but then job offers in a similar industry in another state. They say, why would I bring my family to this state that is frankly hostile to my existence? Those employees are choosing jobs in industries and states that do have these protections, because even if one of these businesses has these non-discrimination protections in place, which is very important, when the state does not match them, other aspects of their daily life and existence are impacted.
Representative Antonio, the last time I asked Rob Portman and John Kasich about this, it was during the campaign, and the governor said that the Republican Party can't live in the 80s, it's got to get with the new century. Have you reached out to the governor on this at all?
We haven't had a conversation this time about this, but I certainly, once we introduce the bill, I'm willing to talk to anybody and everyone about this
When are you introducing the bill?
today. Any other questions?
Do we have any Republican co-sponsors?
We don't at this point. We put the bill out for co-sponsor, and we don't have any Republican co-sponsors right now. But again, I don't believe that that means that we can't continue to have the conversations that we're having. And, you know, my glass is always half full. So I'm always positive about the prospects that we would get support across the aisle.
Well, the glass has got to be a little more than full, right? Like 51% of the vote cast. What are your chances of actually? I mean, you know, do you think you're gonna? Why do you think it's has any chance this year? I mean, it's been kicking around for more than 10 years.
It's a fair question. Actually, my glass is more than 51% half full because I serve in the deep minority, so I'm already behind to start out with. You know, I'm asked this every year that we've introduced the bill. This has been a question. And I think, first of all, it's always the right time to introduce the right kind of policy. And again, every time we introduce the bill, the world around us changes just a little bit more. And I think we're in a different environment today than we were 2 years ago or 4 years ago. The people standing with me, the people that you heard speak this morning, are really focusing, I think we focus more on the economic ramifications of passing a bill like this today more than ever before, because frankly, they're real. If Ohio's aging, right? We have one of the oldest populations in the country. If we're going to change that, I've got two 30-something children who refuse to live in this state right now, not because they don't love me, because they do, but they are both living in much more what they consider progressive states that embrace their lifestyle, that embrace the values that they have. And if we're really going to be competitive in Ohio, then we have to figure out how to reach out to those young people. So every time we introduce this bill, I am ready to pass it, and I'm ready to pass it this time. Thank you. Thank you all.